Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel BNB Daily Spoiler. Marriage on the brink. This is the end of Brooke and Ridge?
Will Ridge and Brooke break up in order to keep Taylor from getting married to a Deacon? The bold and the beautiful spoilers reveal that we have to ask. Will Ridge Forrester leave Brooke Logan Forrester to save Taylor Hayes from a marriage to Deacon Sharp? After Brooke nearly lost her life in Italy, it was a huge wake-up call for Ridge about who he wanted. However, it was hard for Ridge to break Taylor's heart for the umpteenth time and shut the door on their own future together. After hearing of Taylor's love involvement with Deacon, Ridge might be inclined to reopen that door. To keep Taylor safe and away from the wrong guy. How far will Ridge go? Viewers of BNB are aware that Ridge has never been a huge fan of Deacon, but the situation involving Sheila Sharp is the most dangerous aspect of it all. Like Steffi Forrester Finnegan, Ridge is going to worry that Sheila will find out about Taylor's involvement with Deacon and retaliate. When Sheila feels betrayed and angry, she can do anything, so Ridge might genuinely worry about Taylor's safety. Will Ridge be scared enough to consider dumping Brooke and reuniting with Taylor once again? Part of Ridge will always love Taylor and want to protect her, so that's worth keeping in mind. If only to prevent her from continuing to pursue things with Deacon, Brooke could easily begin to worry about Ridge's heart turning back to Taylor. That said, there could be a big problem if Ridge tries to get back together with Taylor at some point. Deacon has opened Taylor's eyes to what love can really feel like, so she may not be eager to sign up for more of Ridge's waffling. Taylor has praised Deacon for helping her move on from Ridge and see that she deserves better. That means even if Ridge does try to leave Brooke and save Taylor, she may reject him and stick with Deacon. Of course, Steffi's ultimatum about cutting Taylor out of her family is still going to be an issue, but Deacon and Taylor are hopeful about finding a path forward together anyway. The bold and the beautiful spoilers say Taylor and Deacon will have more obstacles to conquer, so stick with us for updates on all the escalating drama. BNB's Deacon declared his love for Taylor. So what's next for Sheila? Deacon and Taylor crossed an emotional threshold. He declared he couldn't live without her. She returned the sentiment. They kissed, and they agreed to pursue each other despite everything. That's made for immediate shockwaves among the Forresters and Logans. Sheila, for the moment, remains in the dark, and that knowledge gap is the engine of dramatic suspense. The show is deliberately letting the audience hold the secret. We see Deacon and Taylor together. Sheila doesn't. Which means every cutaway to Sheila's oblivious calm is loaded like a time bomb. Steffi has already pulled the alarm to Ridge, and the family is mobilizing around containment and judgment while the villain, Sheila, still sleeps. That mismatch, family reaction without the antagonist's sense of betrayal, is classic BNB suspense crafting. Now, what actually happens next? Read on. This is where the plotting gets deliciously dangerous. Why Sheila is the most dangerous variable, and why writers love that. On paper, Sheila Carter is just a despised spouse, but in reality, she is a long-running soap opera character with a violent past, obsession, kidnapping, and numerous reinventions. On a purely structural level, she's the perfect antagonist because she reacts with immediacy and theatricality. Sheila's reactions never start out small. If she finds out, the story won't be a private scene. It will be a public spectacle. She knows how to weaponize victimhood. The story reverses in Sheila's hands. She is the betrayed lady who will not be played with, not the antagonist. That makes her unpredictable to characters who undervalue her and provides her with moral cover with many viewers. She has a close relationship with both the Forrester/Logan Webb and Deacon. She's not an outsider. This betrayal is personal, theatrical, and ruinous for her social identity. Because Sheila is both emotionally combustible and narratively useful, the writers will almost certainly give her a long, dramatic entrance into the scandal rather than a quiet, off-camera discovery. Expect the reveal to be violent, delicious, and emotionally complex. The immediate plausible beats the short term, next 1 to 3 episodes. Writers love the slow burn reveal. They also love rapid set pieces. Here are the most likely immediate beats you'll see, and the logic behind each. Ridge explodes when Steffi reveals the kiss to him. This beat has already begun. Ridge will be the mastermind behind containment efforts as he goes from incredulous to enraged. Ridge's initial reaction is to defend Taylor, which will manifest as rage at Deacon rather than tact toward Taylor. Taylor and Deacon double down privately. In private, they'll justify themselves, Taylor's loneliness, Deacon's sincerity, their mutual attraction. As a result, even though other characters criticize the relationship, viewers feel sympathy for them. It's emotionally messy and intentionally so. Small slips put Sheila on alert. Small physical clues, lipstick, perfume, that add up are what B&B loves, whether it's a casual text, a vague phone call, or a single missing shoe. The writers will sprinkle those micro-evidence beats, so Sheila's suspicion grows organically rather than appearing like a contrivance. Brooke and Steffi form a containment plan. They'll either try to protect Taylor from Sheila or weaponize the secret to control the fallout. Brooke's dual role, protector of Ridge and political strategist, makes her central to the immediate response. Media/boardroom pressure simmers. Forrester Creations will have PR problems if the story leaks. Expect a scene or two where PR people discuss spin and where alliances and vendettas are parsed in business terms. These initial beats give the audience both emotional scenes, private justifications, tearful confrontations, and plot propulsion. Sheila's growing suspicion, a high-drama reveal to come. For likely narrative arcs for Sheila once she discovers the truth. For Sheila, authors have a variety of dramatic options. I'll outline 4 likely arcs, each a different tone and payoff, and what they mean for Taylor, Deacon, Ridge, and the rest. Sheila, the slow-burn investigator, gathers evidence before making it public. Sheila can be nasty and tolerant. She usually doesn't blow up right away. In this arc, she becomes a tactical investigator. She begins to follow Deacon or look into his privacy after noticing minor discrepancies in his texts, bills, and photos. She collects unquestionable evidence, such as receipts, timestamps, and a photograph. And then, in a slow, intense moment, she confronts Deacon. The confrontation becomes public. Sheila either releases the proof to the media or stages a dramatic, public reveal at a Forrester event, fashion show, launch party, thereby maximizing humiliation for Taylor and the Forresters. Why writers like it? It gives Sheila agency, allows for suspense while she collects evidence, and pays off with a huge public spectacle that creates multiple subsequent storylines, legal, PR, romantic fallout. How it lands emotionally. Taylor is humiliated. Ridge feels guilty for not protecting her. Deacon is exposed as the betrayer. Sheila becomes the wounded party with moral claim. The vindictive outburst. Sheila responds viciously and in private. This arc leans into Sheila's capacity for violence. Sheila's suspicion turns to a private, targeted plan to destroy Taylor's life. Tampering with Taylor's practice, threatening her safety, or staging an incident that frames Taylor as the aggressor. She could kidnap or detain someone, classic soap move, or manipulate circumstances so Taylor appears unstable to authorities or the public. Why writers like it? High stakes, immediate danger, and the ability to create hero versus villain dynamics where law enforcement, family, and alliances scramble. How it lands emotionally. The show becomes an intense thriller for a few weeks. Audiences get edge-of-seat plotting and a chance to rally around Taylor as the victim. The victim narrative pivot. Sheila wins public sympathy. Sheila leans into being the betrayed wife and flips the narrative. She publicly positions herself as the wounded spouse, using carefully staged vulnerability and media-savvy theatrics. She recruits sympathetic allies, such as a lawyer or former acquaintances, and portrays Deacon as a villain who deserted her. Sheila wins the moral upper hand in the court of public opinion, while Taylor is isolated as a result of this social tactic. Why writers like it? Complex moral shading. Viewers debate whether Sheila is justified, and the show explores who deserves sympathy. It's excellent for debate and hot takes on social media. How it lands emotionally. Taylor suffers reputational harm. Deacon is vilified, and Ridge, Steffi, Brooke have to decide whether to defend Taylor or keep ties discreet to preserve their public image. The redemption/retreat arc. Sheila collapses or withdraws. Though unlikely, it is possible. When Sheila finds out about the affair, she has a breakdown and decides to withdraw, either by going into therapy, choosing to be imprisoned, or leaving abruptly. This arc could be used to humanize Sheila, explore remorse, or set up a longer-term comeback. Why authors might use it? It's a slower burn that rewards viewers who remain engaged. It complicates audience reaction and creates a later return shock. How it affects Taylor emotionally. Complex empathy. Sheila is dangerous and damaged. Taylor has to deal with the emotional rubble. Specific scenes I'd bet on, writerly drumbeats. Below are scene beats that will probably occur. The show has done versions of these before, and they fit the story logic now. The moral transgression is set up by Deacon and Taylor's silent vow, a private, cinematic moment in which they promise to be together. This has already been observed. Steffi to Ridge. The blow-by-blow. Steffi reveals what she saw. Ridge's slow burn to rage. Immediate family meeting to discuss damage control. Sheila senses something. A cutaway shows Sheila alone, replaying an old, joyous memory, juxtaposed with Deacon's absence, and the camera lingers on detail, perfume, napkin, that will later become proof. The public unmasking. Sheila makes the affair public through a photo, recorded confession, or staged interruption, either at a Forster launch or a social gathering. This creates a splashy week of daytime headlines. Deacon's moral crisis. In private, he tries to end the liaison to protect Sheila. That attempt fails, increasing the tragic dimension of his choice. Consequences across the canvas. Taylor risks reputation and her professional credibility. She'll be judged as an ethical transgressor. Therapist becomes patient of the heart, possibly losing clients or being publicly shamed. But she's also a sympathetic figure, lonely, human, and not purely malicious. Deacon loses his marriage and possibly the sympathy of some fans, is vilified by some but humanized by others. He could be ostracized by parts of the canvas or positioned as tragic hero. Sheila takes center stage in the story. The decisions made by the authors will determine whether she turns into a vengeful villain or a sympathetic victim. Either way, Sheila's arc will drive weeks of storyline. Forced to control the damage, Ridge, Steffi, Brooke, and Forster Creations will have to take sides and run the risk of negative publicity that could harm business alliances and family legacies. The fandom and ratings of the show are rip-roaring soap opera fodder. Writers will be savoring the fan noise, and social media will blow up, which will affect the pacing of the story and whether or not characters are redeemed or punished. Longer-term possibilities, where this could go across months. A courtroom/PR war. Divorce filings, restraining orders, and PR strategy sessions. A drawn-out legal and reputational conflict that lasts for months. A kidnapping or attempted attack. Sheila's traditional tactic might reappear as a violent attempt that progresses to emergency situations, police investigations, hospital. This ups the soap thriller quotient. Exile and reconciliation. Sheila might be temporarily exiled, jail, rehab, or self-imposed exile, only to return later for second-act revenge. Taylor's fall and slow redemption. Taylor may lose status and then rebuild her life. The writers could give her a slow, human arc where forgiveness is earned, not given. A redrawn map of love. This gets the writers new pairings or repairings. Deacon's choices could open new doors for Taylor or for other characters to fill the vacuum. How the show can make this emotionally satisfying and not just salacious. The show must accomplish 3 goals in order for its arc to feel justified. Give Taylor complex scenes of interiority. Show us why she sought Deacon, not just that she did. Make her human and lonely instead of just the other woman. Let Sheila be 3-dimensional. Don't reduce her to crazy. Give her vulnerability, grievance, and strategic smarts. When she acts, the pain that fuels her action should be visible. Permit characters to experience repercussions. Avoid quick absolution. Let courtroom scenes, family feuds, and public fallout shape the characters' arcs. That makes eventual reconciliation meaningful rather than theatrical window dressing. The likely must-see episode setups. The confrontation. She finds proof a slow scene where Sheila discovers incontrovertible evidence. She doesn't scream at first. She catalogs the betrayal and plans. This is chilling when done in quiet, controlled acting beats. The public reveal. Imagine Sheila's arrival during a fashion show in Forrester, with the music cutting out as she enters the stage and drops the bomb. A classic spectacle during the day. The aftermath. Weeks of fallout where Taylor faces clients. Ridge processes betrayal, Steffi rages, and Deacon tries to fix the unfixable, all of which provides excellent actor-driven scenes. Final verdict. What this will mean for B&B. Everything the show excels at is present in this plot. Moral ambiguity, intense emotional conflict, and a villain who is both horrifying and strangely likable. Deacon's confession to Taylor is the plot ignition. Sheila's eventual discovery is the explosion. Whether the arc is a ratings gimmick or a genuinely rich, character-driven saga will depend on how the writers handle the middle. Proof gathering, public revelation, and legal ramifications. My money is on a multi-week arc that blends public spectacle with intimate scenes. Sheila will find out in a way that forces a dramatic, public reckoning, fashion show reveal, or similar. Taylor will be humiliated but humanized. Deacon will be both penitent and stubborn, and Ridge, Steffi, Brooke will fracture under the pressure. Expect social media to roar. Expect fandom factions to form anew. And expect producers to ride this for weeks because the emotional and narrative payoff is immense.